What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start this show by being transparent. Yesterday, I had one play. It was the Golden State Valkyries minus 5.5 points. Got to the window. We got 6.5. Got to the window as well. So that was a good one. Headed back in the right direction after a couple winners here. Vino, hopefully yesterday was as good for you as it was for me.
Yeah, I took yesterday off, Skee, so I was obviously, trying to root yours home for you with Golden State, but I didn't have a play either way, so no harm, no foul. But today, the board looks a little more interesting. I found one that I liked quite a bit. It's up for $5 Tuesday, and then we'll go through the rest of this card and see what we have here. I do want to say really quick here. Thanks to whoever it was in the comment section who said it sounded like my voice was coming through the computer yesterday. We just checked into it, and certainly it was. It should sound better now. It should be coming through the mic for you guys.
Yeah, got it all figured out. So yeah, appreciate you guys. What about this question before we get started here, Vino? From Brian, he says, "What do you think of all these unders coming in?"
Yeah.
Asking, does it continue today? I know you mentioned it's been a lot of unders lately. I don't know how yesterday was under, right? Yeah.
It was.
Um, it's been a lot of unders lately. Do you think that's going to continue, or you think the market is going to? Is it almost at the point where they're pushing it back down? Any thoughts before we get into today?
Well, a couple of things here, Ski, because obviously when things are trend toward the under, it's not generally good for me.
Yes.
So I put some thought into it. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Maybe the numbers are just, odds makers have caught up and gotten to where some of these have reached kind of they're 3/4 of the way up the mountain to get over, and then they just can't climb over because the odds makers have made it too high. But the other thing that comes to mind here is that we're down to I don't know, 9 games left for everybody here, somewhere in that vicinity is this playoff race. We talk about it every day, the seedings and how quickly they could change because there's a huge bunch between 3 and 8. And maybe defensive stuff is just showing up a little bit more now. Teams playing with more urgency. I'm not sure. I can't say that I see that during these games, but we have seen a lot of low. I mean, I go through these box scores every single night and keep spreadsheets on them. We have seen some low shooting percentages, really low as of late. Hard to tell, like I say, if that's just missed shots or if that's relentless defense. I have to say, in watching these, I don't really, other than Golden State, I don't find it to be relentless defense. So we'll see if it continues. It could just be the odds makers have caught up and have pushed it a little bit higher. I will say today that if you go to the $5 store where my play is up, you're not getting it under. So I'll just make that clear. I won't tell you which one, but you're not getting it under.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting when I saw that question from Brian, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Vino passed yesterday. Maybe he has been seeing some of these unders coming. He thinks it could continue, but there you go, saying you think one could get over today. All right, we'll talk about them. Start at the top. First is Sparks and Sun. Opened up minus 1.5 for LA. Looks like 2.5. Total opened 174.5, and that's down to 170.5. As far as injuries, you have both Griner and Aaliyah Edwards out. For the Sparks, let's see this. You do have McConney, game time decision, Brink, game time decision. Same for Erica Wheeler. Um, I hate the injury report. I mean, I would at least want Erica Wheeler in for the Sparks tonight. But I mean, this Sun team, I did mention before that throughout the season they've wanted to play for the home crowd in their last season, but we've seen that stretch of games when they had no Edwards and no Griner, and that Sun team looked terrible. So I can't really back them because of that. I'd have to look towards the Sparks here in this game. Um, Also, it's a big lack of rim protection. All the Sparks want to do is score and not play defense. I don't know that I agree so much with the total coming down. I think this one could be an over as well. So Sparks and over that I'm looking at here. Any thoughts from you, Vino?
Well, certainly market agrees with Sparks. I'm seeing now that push has gone to 2.5. from 1.5. So there's a move within the last 30 minutes, universal across the board. Um, unless you're involved in a prediction market, you're not finding 1.5 anymore. Couple of things here, Skee. Number one, it was funny because we were both kind of pointing toward Connecticut a couple of games ago. I think you may have even had them, and they got literally destroyed. Like they didn't even show up. And Brittany Griner played in that game because I remember us saying it's important that they have that front line. Then I get a text from you on Saturday that says, "Oh, Connecticut decides to play today," and that was against New York, and it was like 82-75. Some of that could have been because New York didn't have Sabrina in that game, although she hasn't been totally dominant, but she certainly is a force. Or you have to know where she is on the floor. You have to account for her when she plays. She didn't play that day. I give you some numbers on what's going on with LA the last 2 games with that guard tandem, Ariel Atkins and Erica Wheeler. And at first, when I saw Wheeler's name show up on the injury report, I thought, well, that's meaningful. Then I did these numbers, and I don't know how meaningful it is anymore. Ariel Atkins, the one who is going to play in the starting backcourt tonight, last 3 games, 3 for 19, 2 for 15 from 3. Only went to the free throw line 4 times, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. She scored 9 points total in the last 3 games. Ariel Atkins has basically been worthless. Those games were at Washington, at New York. She fouled out against New York. She fouled out against Phoenix. So that's one of your guards today. The guard you're missing is Erica Wheeler. Last 3 games, 8 of 23, barely over 33%, 3 of 14 from 3. She hasn't gone to the free throw line once in 3 games. Just busy chucking threes, I guess. 19 points total, which is like 6 1/3 a game. Again, those 3 games, Washington, New York, and Phoenix. I don't know what's going on with LA. I feel like they miss Kelsey Plum's scoring, or they're starting to get worn down offensively, maybe. Connecticut could provide a nice elixir tonight because they don't play a lot of defense. Who was it in the chat that said they couldn't guard a team in a parking garage? Yeah, maybe without Griner and Edwards, that adds up. I'm starting to think that Connecticut management doesn't care about winning games, Skee, honestly. That they're moving to Houston. You've mentioned it. Tillman Fertitta, the new owner, has mentioned, he wants to kind of, weed out what's there now and bring in something that a roster that he thinks can contend. I have a hard time making heads or tails of this game, honestly. But the market does like the LA team in this situation. And I will say, after reading those stats and doing a little bit of work this morning, I don't know that Erica Wheeler's absence is that big of a deal. I mean, Ray Burrell may step right in and score 25 tonight. Who knows? We'll see. I don't like the way either one of these teams is going. I'll put it that way.
Very fair. Very fair. We'll move on over to the next game on that note, and that is the Fever and Tempo. Opened up -9.5 for Indiana. Looks like 10 or 10.5, depending where you shop. Total open to 193.5. And it looks like that's come down. I'm seeing 190.5 as a consensus. Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark are both probable. Sabali, Conde, and Alamond all out for Toronto. Sykes back in the lineup for this Tempo team tonight. Man, they've been needing her all season long. Finally back out there. Veno, first game back for a player with the, what I mean. She means a lot to the team. First game back after so long. It's not usually the spot you want to bet on a team. They're getting 10 points, though. The thought of Marina Mabry getting double digits, and then now you have Sykes back, too. It really makes me want to think about the Tempo. I don't like that I feel Indiana can probably score at the rim pretty consistently in this game. So I know Toronto's been a much better over team on the road, but I don't know. I feel like this could be one where they're able to keep up a little bit. Fever's defense has been a little bit better lately, but I still don't fully trust them. I think this could be a sneaky over. Maybe it's not even sneaky. And I don't know. I think Toronto can compete. What do you think?
Yeah, it's crazy that we're calling over 190.5 sneaky, right? I mean, but it's hard. Let me put it this way. I think the only reason under money came in on this game is because, again, you talked about it last week. We haven't seen totals in this range, in this price range. 193.5. I mean, the last couple of weeks, we're starting to see these types of numbers. And as we just described, 14 of the last 16 have gone under. So I think there's a group out there that probably feels like, you know what, these numbers are just too high. Sure, they're going to score. They may get to 191, but they're not getting to 194. And they bet it down, down, down. At some point, maybe, there's take back. And you say, all right, pushing it down 3 points is a little too much. But there's such a thin margin there, Skee. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like you want to just dig deep into your pocket and run to the window when you're like, well, this one may get over by 1 point. It's hard. Indiana's team total is 100.5 or something, right? We know they've scored over 100 quite a bit. Not the last few games, though, last 2 or 3. They've gotten close, 95 in overtime against Atlanta, 98 the game before. Toronto plays no defense. I mean, I could see the argument, but again, they're making it hard on us at 100.5. The Brittany Sykes thing is interesting. She's missed 18 games. She's on a minutes restriction tonight. But it looked to me and everything that I've read like they're going to run her out there in the starting lineup. I can't believe you're on a minutes restriction and you're going to start. I have to believe that she'll be coming off the bench. But to your point, when Mabry and Sykes were together, let's say the first 10 games of the year or whatever it was, those two were lighting it up. I mean, Toronto looked really, really good offensively. If they're bringing her back, Skee, it kind of means that, they're not throwing the towel in on a season where they're going to be a lottery team. Obviously, they're not making the playoffs. It looks like they still want to play basketball there. So I may have to sit this one out and, maybe internally root for the game to be low scoring. So maybe the next Toronto total comes out a little bit lower. I don't know. But I think I'll be on Toronto overs in some form, either later this week or into next week, next couple of Toronto games, because she makes that rotation a lot deeper, and that's a lot more scoring. The way, like I say, the way they started the season, Sykes and Mabry, was pretty high scoring and pretty exciting for Toronto. So we'll see. I just think that maybe the number's a little bit too high for me here.
Fair. We'll keep going. Liberty and Sky opened up -4.5 for the Liberty, down to 3.5 or 4. Total open 182.5, down as low as 180. Or I'm sorry, down as low as 179.5. Beebich and Savali remain out for New York. Sydney Taylor. Is this probable here? No, she's still questionable. But I did see she went through shoot around. No Skylar Diggins. Everybody else available for the Chicago team. This one is a little bit simpler for me. It's just New York doesn't deserve to be laying any kind of points until until they prove they can consistently get some stops and cover some games. Chicago, I know they've been pretty iffy. I know they've sucked some of these games, but we got to remember Sydney Taylor was a big part of this team, and getting her back is going to make all the difference. So if she plays, I mean, I can understand thinking Chicago can be in this game. New York has just not been playing good basketball to me. So either Chicago or probably Chicago. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, it's funny because we got done. I don't know. I'm staring at something here that I don't like, Skee, but I'll worry about that later. We got done the other day and off air had a little bit of a talk about where Chicago's at. I trusted them as an underdog on the road. It just didn't look good last couple of games. And I even made the comment, Chicago's basically now, without Sydney Taylor in the lineup, it's like a lot of backups that are playing in starter roles. But if Sydney Taylor comes back, that would be even larger for this team as far as offense is concerned. But still, almost feel like Chicago at home against a bad defensive team and at the pace they play, they may get back to score. Some of those home games they played before the road trip, they were right in there and they were scoring. And they played twice against the Liberty this year. And those two games went 95-94, 189, and 96-95, 191. So they've scored 189 and 191 in 2 games with the Liberty this year. Chicago's defense still not very good. Liberty gets Ionescu back tonight, so I figure the Liberty, they've shown they can score without Phoebus and Sabally on the floor. They probably score here. If we've talked about specific matchups on the show here that may not be good for teams. I think it was the Atlanta-Dallas matchup in particular, where it looks like it should be an over, but they played nothing but unders. This one just seems to me like Chicago will push pace. Teams that want to go fast against New York seem to expose their defense. They're slow at this point in time. So to me, I don't know. The push down from 182.5 to 179.5 did not make a lot of sense. I'm pretty glad to take over 179.5 in this game. For New York, they're 7-1 over, over 180 points in their last 8 road games. So they've exceeded this number they're asking you for tonight, 7 of the last 8 on the road. Chicago's 7-4 over this total, their last 11 at home. So pretty good numbers there as far as what to expect from these two. And then when you take the season series and apply that to it, I think this one probably gets over the total. New York could win another close one, but maybe both teams get up into the 90s again.
Dante says Liberty 12-1 to the over and 1-12 ATS as road favorites.
How about that?
I mean, that's pretty much what I said to start, right? Liberty defense is ass. That says right there. So I do think this one can get over as well. All right. Next one up. And shout out to my guy Maui too. Maui not here in the chat, but I know he's watching. And I did see him yesterday. Shout out to my guy Maui. Next game up, Dream and Aces. Opened up -3.5 for the Aces. Still looks like 3 or 3.5. Total open 180.5. And it's down as low as 177.5. For the Aces, Dana Evans is out. Cheyenne Parker Tyus is questionable. For the Dream, Bree Jones is out. Jordan Canada is probable after missing last game with an illness. Dream coming off that overtime game, right? Versus the Fever. Aces coming off of that loss versus the Lynx. Man, I don't know. Two things here. I mean, overtime game, then having to travel on the road and play again. Not the best of situations for the Dream. The Aces, one of the teams I prefer, I like to trust a little bit more after they lose a game. We know how Becky likes to get them girls fired up and ready. So I think they're the better team anyway, and at home. I'd have to look towards the Aces. I don't really trust this to be a defensive game. I think it's more of an offensive game as well. I disagree. Total's moving down, maybe just because it opened high. But I do think that I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Any thoughts from you, Vino?
Yeah, we got 3 games here, Skee, that at first glance you would probably play over, that have all been bet heavily toward the under, and it could be because, like I say, the huge trend that's going on with unders right now. So maybe you get your take back today. Jordan Canada back in the lineup, huge for Atlanta, obviously, at point guard. But, you and I talked last week about Las Vegas being severely shorthanded on the bench, and they shouldn't be that way tonight. It looks like Parker Tyus will play, or at least it's leaning that way. And we know Kirsten Bell is back in the lineup. The only one missing is Dana Evans now. So you have more of a bench for Becky to go to here to help the starters out. Huge game. Golden State just continues to put pressure on Las Vegas to win games. If Las Vegas wants to get to the 2 spot, again, I'll repeat what Becky said, when she had that scheduled loss against the Liberty on that Sunday. She said, we really don't care what seed we are, but we're playing the long game here. We want to make sure everybody's healthy. But I just, interject into that I think that these games mean a lot to the Aces, and they've played hard since that one day. They were PO'd about the scheduling. I get Becky's comments. I don't think she really meant that literally. So they're going to show up here. Dream will show up as well. And I don't know. I just don't trust Atlanta enough to take 3 points. I trust Las Vegas where one game last week, Skee, I'm trying to remember where I said when they were shorthanded, Jackie Young has to show up in this game, which she generally always does anyway, but shorthanded to help Asia Wilson. Now, she had 32 that game. Jackie Wilson is dependable. Asia Wilson is dependable. Chelsea Gray is somewhat in and out, but I find these Atlanta shooters to be far more unreliable than the Las Vegas team. Like Alicia Gray could just as easily go 3 of 15 from the floor as to what she did on Sunday when she scored 32. Ryan Howard could just as easily go 2 for 12 from 3. They're not dependable. So for me, it would be Vegas in this game. I think minus 3 points, pretty fair number. And like I said, I just don't trust Atlanta enough shooting wise. Certainly, Las Vegas, the Aces can do enough interior wise to kind of negate whatever Angel Reese does here. So to me, I think it would be Las Vegas. I'm not going to say under, so I'll kind of side with you on the total here. I'll point out once again, Atlanta's the worst 2-point field goal percentage defense in the league. Atlanta's the worst 3-point field goal percentage in the league. Could get you to the over here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the standings. It says the Aces are 2 games behind Golden State. Golden State's been playing so well, though it's hard to think that Aces catch them unless they have games. I don't think they have games versus each other anymore. But the Aces half a game ahead of the Fever, 2 games ahead of the Dream and the Liberty. The Aces need to win games.
Mm-hmm.
They had their game off. That's kind of how I think about it. And if you look at it right now, I mean, the way the standings are right now, well, I guess I saw it yesterday. I need to look at this the playoffs. It was something about if the playoffs started, how they would match up or whatever. I don't know. I just think the Aces need some wins right now. They would rather be on the side of the bracket, that doesn't have the links in it. I think everybody would probably choose that. So that's kind of what I think there. Shout out to the chat. Do see a lot of comments, a lot of support, some questions, some opinions, a lot of different things out there, But I appreciate you guys all in the chat. All right. I think it's about that time. What can we put up here on the screen? It is $5 Tuesday. So if you go to either Vino's page or my page, you can get a best bet for just $5. Say that once again, for anybody looking for best bets, they're only $5 today. And things have been going pretty well. Outside of that, the usual 2 for 1, 3-day all access, both Rob Veno and myself, only $69. It's a good way to check both of us out. If you prefer one of us, same $69 will get you 6 days for whoever you choose. So plenty of ways to get involved here, Veno. You try. I know you let them bully you. Maybe trying to. I don't know. We usually don't give best bets on Tuesday just because it's $5 Tuesday. We already damn near giving them out for just $5. Anything else you want to add here, Veno?
Really quick here. I would say that I promised that I would have more than one play today, which I do. There is one up for $5 already. If you want that one, head over to wagertalk.com. But I did say that I'd give the other one out here, and I'll give a best bet today, Skee, from one that I bet and one that we just talked about, the Atlanta-Las Vegas game. We talked a lot about full game total, full game side. We didn't really shorten it up, but that's what I did in this one. I played the Aces first half here, minus 1.5 points. I'm with you. I thoroughly agree that Las Vegas is trying to win games. Falling from 3 to 4 is not a good way to go because 4 puts you in the Minnesota bracket. You don't want to be there. And I just don't, like I said, I just don't trust Atlanta enough shooting the basketball. They could prove me wrong because they do get hot at times. but their defense speaks for itself. Played 36 games or whatever they played already, and they're last in 2-point and 3-point defense. I think Las Vegas will take advantage. I think they'll probably be ready here. Pretty well rested, the Aces are. So give me Las Vegas as a best bet here. First half, -1.5.
Rob Veno, blessing you guys with the best bet on the show. I can agree with it as well. A lot of people happy.
The question.
A lot of people happy right now, Rob Veno.
Well, they have over a half, but the greedy ones who went for over 1.5.
Oh, those guys, man. That's the lottery players right there. Over 1.5 on $5 Tuesday. I don't know about that one, man. But I do have my best bet up for $5. Right now, plus 119 units, a little bit over that. So see if we can hit that 120 mark. I keep flirting with it and not getting over. I want to get over it today. I think today is the day. Vino, always appreciate you taking the time to cap these games with me. Chat, we appreciate you all as well. Best of luck, everybody, on all your action. A lot of games today. Bet responsibly. Tomorrow we have 2 games that we'll talk about, and we will catch you all then.